So the situation is on my basketball team. We had a game last weekend actually on Saturday. And I have a stressful thought when I was in the middle of a game that I feel like I should be playing more time. And it doesn't make too much sense because I'm a starter. I play a fair amount of time. But for some reason there's this attachment that I should be playing a lot more, a little, I don't know, more meaningful minutes or something like that along
Mhm.
those lines. But I kind of nailed it down to I should be playing more.
Great. Yeah. So it doesn't matter, whether it makes sense or not, that feeling is I should be playing more time. So that's what I trust when doing the work. So let's do it. You should be playing more time and be there in the minute in the game. This is when it came up. So be there. Is it true? You should be playing more time.
Yes.
And can you absolutely know it's true? You should be playing more time.
Yes. To me, that's a yes.
Okay. So how do you react? What happens when you think you should be playing more time and they're not giving you more time?
I shut down. I don't want to play anymore. Like, it's like I just want to leave and don't come back in a way. I feel like right now in my situation, I'm sitting on the bench, just like watching the game, and I kind of like separate myself from it, and I'm somewhere else. Like I give up, and I just don't want to try anymore. Just want to leave, and yeah. If I would stand up and leave, that'll be okay. That kind of feels like what my mind is doing anyway. I feel tension. I even got sweaty. My hands got sweaty just thinking about it. Yeah, I get sweaty, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like trying to figure out why I'm not playing more minutes and why I'm not there. If I could be helping the team more, if I was, for me, I should be there because I'm not tired. I just can't. I just could be there playing more minutes. So it's like I can't figure out the way. I'm trying to think of the reason why, but I can't find it at all.
Hmm.
It's like I'm stuck in a loop, just trying to asking the question myself many, many times, and there's just like no answer for it at all. It's just, and I can seem to get out of it. It's like, okay, I'll just give up. Like I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how my body reacts when I'm thinking on it. It's like, oh, my body just like shuts down too. It's like I'm not going as aggressive anymore. I'm not even shooting like if I wanted to make the you know make the shot in a way, which is weird. It's like if I almost don't want to shoot it, it's like I'll shoot it because I have to and I'm open or something, but not because I really want to do it anymore. So it's like physically I'm gone too. Like I can see how my body relaxes and it's not in game mode anymore. It's like gone.
Describe it perfectly. All the reaction that happens when you think I should be playing more time. Yeah. So who would you be without the thought I should be playing more time in the middle of that game? Who would you be?
Without the thought, I'm sitting in the bench not trying to be the coach in a way. Just like staying out of his business and just like focus on the game and seeing what's going on, what plays are being run, what I could do if I get in, what I could learn. And looking at myself more, like going back to me in that situation and not, and seeing like what things I could do to improve not my gameplay, but the team, but on what I'm doing instead of what everybody's doing, including the coach, because they're not letting me play. Right. So I'm like, yeah, it's weird. And in a way, I just like, just watching them play, and I have good seats because I'm like right next to the court. Like, yeah, just seeing what's going on in the court and like just being there, not even waiting for me to get in without the thought. I'm just there. That's it. Like my mind is clear. It's almost like I'm not thinking. I'm just being there. It's an interesting feeling.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of comparison and contrast with the thought, without the thought. And you can see by that what a difference that thought makes. I should be playing more time. Big difference.
Big difference. I can feel it
Yeah.
in my body. I'm relaxed now. It's like when I was talking about the thought, like I could feel the tension and I'm sweaty and I could feel like now I'm just there. Like if I was in the bench, just like watching the game with probably the best seats.
Yeah. Exactly. So this is the effect of the thought. That's what we've just seen, and you've experienced it, and this is just what we were talking about. Like there's a loosening of the attachment to that idea, because you can see how stressful it is to think it, and without it, it would be less stressful. So there's a more openness there, and with that openness, let's go into the turnarounds and see if we can find anything there. So I should be playing more time. What would a turnaround be?
First obvious one would be I shouldn't be playing more time.
Okay, so how could that be? Is there any example how that could be true?
First one I see, like it's the kind of like the obvious one, because that's the reality that I'm not. I'm playing the minutes I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is not, I'm not playing more than that. So
Yeah, you can argue with it all day long, but that's how many minutes you're going to play, however many
right.
you're playing. Yeah,
That's kind of the
okay.
reality of that.
Mm-hmm.
The
What
other
else
one
could...
is I shouldn't be playing more minutes, because also the reality is that I'm playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a contradiction with the initial thought.
Right.
But it's true. It's like if I don't put myself into like with the ego thinking that I should be playing more, I can realize that I'm actually playing a lot of minutes. It's not that
Yeah.
I'm not playing or I'm playing a very few minutes. I'm actually started. So that tells you a little bit that I'm
Yeah.
playing a lot of minutes. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just the mind always wants more, right? I want to play more time. I'm a valuable player. I should be in there more. But in reality, if you look at it objectively, you're playing quite a lot.
Right. Like the other one I see is that I shouldn't be playing more minutes because everybody needs to play, and it's actually a good thing for the team to have all the players that don't play as much to get minutes here and there too,
Yeah.
because it's part of a team that's going to help us on the long run anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
hmm,
Share the responsibility of playing, of winning, of learning. Yeah.
right.
From that point
That's
of
an
view,
interesting one.
it's a gift. You're giving, even though you don't control it exactly, but you could see it as something you're giving time for others to play. And that builds the team.
Hmm. Wow, that makes a lot of sense too, because that usually happens when we start playing really well and we take an advantage on the game, that we just sit on the bench and let the other players kind of like get their presence now in the court and like try to make points and all that stuff. And then if everything goes south, we go back to the court again and like try to get the lead again and all that. Yeah. I never looked at it that way. That's a really good one.
Yeah. So from that point of view, you shouldn't be playing more. Like
Right.
there's a time for it, but it's not right now.
Mhm.
How's it good for you that you don't play more? Is there any advantage for you?
Advantages for me of not playing more, or there are less chances of me getting hurt while playing. So that's a good advantage.
Good point. Especially if you play a lot of in high intensity, then that's when injuries can happen. So yeah, there's a balance in not playing too much.
Right. Right. And I get to study the game in a way because like we have new people coming to the team that I don't know how they play, how they move on the court or any of that.
Hmm.
So that kind of gives me the chance of looking at how they play and how they move on the court. So when I'm with them, I already kind of know what their position is going to be and how they like to move. So, hmm, that's a good one. That's an advantage too.
That's cool. Yeah. With that information, you can start building a team. You can start knowing how to when to pass to them, when not to, how,
Right.
where they're going to be. You can learn a lot watching them play.
Yeah.
Hmm. Shouldn't be playing more time. These are all examples. We've probably found 5 or 6 examples, and there may be even more. I shouldn't be playing more time. So I don't know if there's any other turnaround, but let's just take a look. I should be playing more time.
Um, one could be my ego shouldn't be playing more time. Because
Yeah,
that's, I feel like
basically.
that's what it comes down to. Like it shouldn't, because I know the body feels great and I know it wants all the minutes it can get, but that's not good either. Like if it plays all the time, if you play all the time, that's not good for any team. Like nobody plays the whole game, not even in the NBA, like with the best players in the
Right.
world or anything. Like that's just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's a team sport.
it's a team sport. Yeah.
So,
It's just like the ego wants to be there and it shouldn't.
yeah. So it kind of, even can be another example of that first turnaround. I shouldn't be playing more time because that just builds up the ego maybe too much. It's good to have
Right.
some ego, but maybe it's built up too much. And then maybe I have to just find the balance in there where it's not too high, not too low. Yeah.
Right. That makes a lot of sense because there's like kind of like a weird comparison that goes on with you regardless of how many minutes you play. It's like, oh, I played more than this player, I should play more than that.
Yeah,
Like, and that's the ego, just like, oh, I should be playing more than this because I play better, or I should play,
that's
I
right.
run faster, or something like that. So the ego should
Exactly.
play more.
This whole thing, this whole statement is really the ego talking, right? I should be playing
Right.
more time because I am great. I'm better than this and that way. I can do this, that. It's like, it's just trying to be, it's just trying to be, it's comparison and trying
Mm,
to be better than the others instead of being a team, which is, okay, I'll play my part, you play yours. And the feeling is totally different.
right. And your part changes depending on the pieces that you have around you. You don't have the
Mm.
same role every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, like you said, new players are coming in, like teams changing a little bit. So your role, you might have been used to one way, then it has to change a little bit and adapt. And
Adapt. Yeah.
that's that's being that's playing on a team.
Right. That's a good one. The ego
So
is attached to those minutes that was used to, or playing the whole game, even though I
yep.
finished up like super tired.
But the ego
It's like
doesn't
still wants
care.
to
You
be there,
got the full game.
right?
I'm great.
I can't walk anymore, but I got the full game in.
Okay. Oh, okay, look here.
Right.
So, yeah, you're playing basketball, but in this situation, you're getting like training on the ego at the same, like that's pretty cool. Physical
Right.
training and ego balancing at the same time.
Right. Like trying to make the ego come down to earth. Like
Yeah.
look at reality.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
And
good.
and that's a more fun way to play in the end because then sometimes I don't have to worry if sometimes I get more time, sometimes I make more points, sometimes I do run faster. I don't have to worry about that comparison and I'm just enjoying playing because I like to play the game and I like to be part of the team and I like to learn and I like all of that. It becomes like
Mm.
multidimensional, not just was I the best? Did I have the
Right.
most time? Did I do the most points? Like that. Right. So I shouldn't be playing more time. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. It was great.